car hit a truck making a U-turn on the freeway. The truck driver is going to appear in the Polokwane Magistrates Court tomorrow. Memorial and funeral arrangements will be announced this week. Well, for more on the tragic death of Minister Colllins Chabane, we now cross live to our journalist Mzwandile Mbeje, who is outside the minister's house in Waterkloof. A very good morning to you, Mzwandile. Thank you so much for your time. Condolences, as we mentioned, continue to pour in. How is the family coping thus far?
Thank you very much, Ayanda. As you've indicated, it is indeed a somber mood here. So there's not been a lot of activity. It's still early in the morning. The activities continued last night. You'd remember even the Deputy President did come to visit the family. Of course, we know that South Africans are starting to internalize this passing of Minister Chabane and his two bodyguards, Lesiba Sekele and Lawrence Lenswale. So this is a moment really where South Africans are asking themselves hard questions relating to the road accidents in our roads. I can add, Ayanda, that later on today, President Jacob Zuma is going to be visiting the Chabane house at around 8:30 to also pay his respects. As I said earlier on, you saw the minister, you saw the Deputy President yesterday, and President Zuma again has appointed the Minister of Arts and Culture, Minister Nathi Mthethwa, as the acting Minister of Public Service and Administration. You'd remember that this tragedy is for the second time in a very short space of time. In 2012, the minister who was holding this very position, Minister Roy Padayachi, also died, and you remember he was in Ethiopia, so he fell sick there and then he died. So right now there's not a lot of activity, but as the day progresses, we expect people to come and pay their last respects. But of course, the head of state is gonna be here in around an hour if everything goes according to what we expect.
Mzwandile, you rightly mentioned the two guards who also perished in this road accident. A lot of people saying that they too are to be honored. Among those who did pay tribute to them, former President Thabo Mbeki, saying they were excellent servants of the country whose work went far beyond the call of duty. A number of other officials have named them and having given them their due accolade in the time when they did manage to interact with the guards. But let's go back to the official funeral plans now. Any news on the special official funeral and when it will take place?
As you may be aware, Ayanda, that yesterday Minister Hadebe held a press conference where indeed he confirmed that Minister Chabane, you know, he was a serving minister, will be accorded a special official funeral. It is still early days, I must say, so those details aren't out yet as to when exactly the funeral of the minister will be happening, and of course the funeral of the bodyguards. So at the moment, as the day starts, we're expecting to start getting those details, which will start trickling in. You know, ordinarily we would expect that it will probably be the weekend, but when you look at some of the activities that are happening at the weekend, on Saturday, for example, it's March 21, the Human Rights Day. On the 22nd, it's the reburial of another struggle icon, J.P. Marx. You remember he was brought back along, his remains were brought back along with those of Moses Kotane to the country from Russia, and then Moses Kotane was reburied this past weekend, and then the weekend that is coming on the 22nd of this month, we expect then the reburial of J.P. Marx. So given that there's a lot of activities on the calendar, and especially at the weekend, so we are really not sure. We'll just speculate. It's possible, perhaps it may even be midweek, but of course we'll wait for those details from government, because, you know, government in consultation with the family, they'll be able to come up with a date and inform the nation.
Thank you very much for that update, Mzwandile Mbeje. We will continue to cross live to you throughout the course of the day, just keeping an eye out on the proceedings and processes there. Thank you very much for that update. Let's take a